So I had a bit of a epiphany last night when I was laying in bed. That is when I do some of my best thinking, is right before I fall asleep. I'm in that weird whatever zone, I don't know what to call it, between wakefulness and sleep. Like I can tell sleepfulness is coming. I'm going to pass out soon. I can feel it. Not always. Sometimes I wake up the next day and I'm like, "Oh, I don't remember falling asleep." But I'd say about 50% of the time I can kind of see it coming. Anyhow, that's when I think about stories and what happens next and what do I need to do here and what's this thing. And I realized that I don't think I'm saying this slowly because I'm kind of thinking about it again as I say it aloud. Like, am I sure? Do I agree with what I'm about to say as I'm saying it? I think I do. Yes. I don't think you can tell a story about a secondary, like not a secondary, a support character as the main hero, because a support character is by definition a support character. You see what I'm saying here? In episode 1, I talked about how I am a firm believer of the masculine and the feminine and what those, I don't know what to even call them, those forces, energies, those aspects of humanity represent. And it is my deeply held conviction that the masculine is the leading force and the feminine is a supporting force. And I don't think, with that said, that I can do what I was thinking I would do. And I thought, I wonder if I got that Paladin's Grace story wrong. And apparently I did. Here is Grok talking about that very thing. I said, who is the hero of Paladin's Grace? And Grok said, Stephen. Stephen is the hero of Paladin's Grace. And it's kind of right there in the name. Paladin is Stephen, and Grace is the character's name, so it's kind of play on words there. Grace is Stephen's in a way, like he's protecting her, and it says, okay, in the book of T. Kingfisher's Saint of Steel series. He's a former paladin whose god died 3 years earlier, leaving him broken and seeking purpose. The story follows his unlikely romance with Grace, a perfumer fleeing danger, as they unravel a conspiracy involving assassins and political intrigue in a richly built fantasy world. The book blends romance, mystery, and humor, with Stephen's quiet strength and vulnerability driving the narrative. That's not how I remembered it, and I'm not sure what that's a testament to. I guess it's that Grace was a well fleshed out character. I think down here it says overall significance, because I clicked on the button. It said discuss Grace's character arc. Down here it says overall significance. Grace's arc is a nuanced portrayal of healing and self acceptance, grounded in her realistic struggles with anxiety and trauma. Kingfisher avoids cliches of a cured heroine, instead showing Grace as someone who grows while while retaining her core traits. Her journey resonates because it's about finding strength within her flaws, making her a compelling and relatable character in a story that balances romance, humor, and suspense. Okay, so with that all said, I don't think the story starts with Jarrell. I think it starts with, and I'm unsure about this name, but it's a placeholder name, and it may be the name that I use, Thomas. I think we open with him. We open with, so let's start doing some stuff here. Let me open up Mural. And you can see here, let's see. Okay. Leave that open, that's fine. All right. Two Thieves story. Here we go. What? I don't want a template. No, I just want, where's the sticky note here? Images, shapes, text, comment, heading, sticky notes. Here we go. Okay, so we'll go, here we go. We'll do this. And we'll say Thomas. Age, he's somewhere between 14 and 18. We'll get that dialed in. I just want to hit the main things here. I'm not trying to like get a full backstory in here. It's not necessary. The backstory's in my head, so I just need notes to keep me on track with that. What is this rocket up here? What does this mean? 5 of 6. Invite friends. Oh, it's something I've done. Invite friends to the party. Okay, whatever. Runs away from mean father. So now what I can do is a little, I can draw a line here, and we'll do a another sticky note, and we'll say Thomas's father. I think he should be, let's see, on the top end, let's say Thomas is 18. So we'll call we'll call him 50s, somewhere there. Sad, no, depressed about, I misspelled that. Depressed about wife going back home. Okay, let's actually drag this. Oops. How do I? There's go like this. Delete that. Okay. Just do that. Delete this one. Okay, so Thomas's father, Thomas, move that over there. And then we've got another sticky over here. We'll do, oops, is this one here? We'll make it pink. And this one, I wish I could just default to proper alignment. There we go. This is going to be Jor-El or Jor-Ellen. She'll be a little bit younger, so I think 12 is probably a little bit too young, although Harry Potter did start, he's 10 when the books, well, when he starts, he's a baby, but when we get into it, he's 10, and then his 11th birthday just happened, like right when the owls are coming. So she's somewhere between 12 and 17. We'll say 13, 17, somewhere in that range. Parents leave her alone in city due to debt. Let's see. Problem, want, need. So her problem is alone. Want, answers from parents, I guess. Answers about parents. Need protection and, I'll reorder that. Acceptance and protection. Acceptance and protection. Now, a quick little note here. I want to pause here for a second and talk about discovery writing versus plotting, which I'm doing right now. Now, the difference between the two is that, and this is a point that is driven home repeatedly in the book Story Engineering by Larry Brooks, and it's this. Pantsing or discovery writing is just plotting by another name. Think about that for a second while I sip my London Fog. Pantsing, writing by the seat of your pants, or discovering writing, is plotting by another name. You have to have some idea about what your story is going to be when you set out to write this thing. You're thinking, okay, I'll use myself as an example, this idea about magic that comes from burning incense. That's pretty cool. Okay. And that puts some different ideas in my mind. I'm picturing these vests. I'm picturing a world that's somewhere it's got hints of the Warframe universe without the sci-fi element. So maybe more Soulframe, although I had more of a Warframe aesthetic in mind. And then, it's got maybe a bit of the Dishonored vibe. It's got kind of an old Prague, Amsterdam at night in the middle of fall, kind of dreary noir kind of feeling. Cool, let's start writing. I'm sorry. What about what are you writing about? Well, about that. Who's the hero? Oh, yeah, who are we paying attention to? A guy. Okay. Who's he? I don't know. We'll figure it out as we go along. Oh, okay. Okay. All right. Kind of might want to have that locked in before you just start writing, don't you think? No, 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 no. Well, all right. The problem that I had with plotting is I thought it would take out all of the creativity, but it doesn't. Who's doing this? Who's writing this stuff down here? Who did this? Oh, I did. Who's laying in bed and thinking about what happens when and what characters where? Oh, me. That's right. I did. So this is not a lack of creativity. It is not taking away the creative process. It's just a different creative process. All right, runs away from father, Thomas, because of father's anger. Okay, depressed about, and so he will say, shard of glass. The shard of glass, which is described in the Save the Cat, is the thing that's at the, it's the thing that's causing the character pain. Shard of glass is, what the heck? Trying to reconnect. What do you mean? Okay, there we go. Shard of glass is loss of wife. Okay. Shard of glass equals it basically is home life, the family, lack of family. It's a different kind of issue than Jarell or Jarellin. Still unsure on that name. Let me know what you think if you watch this. Let's see here. Who else we got? Parents. Do we need to really talk about Jarellin's parents? I keep on calling her that. I think that's what I'll just go with. Jarellin. Can I change the color of that thing? White. There we go. All right. So right now, obviously, all I've got here is some characters here. But as we go along, I'm going to have more beats out here. And let me just get a... Please define a beat as it is talked about in Save the Cat writes a novel. So there's a bunch of beats in the Save the Cat. In the Save the Cat novel by Jessica Brody, a beat refers to a key structural moment or plot point in a novel's narrative arc that helps shape the story and drive it forward. The book adapts the Save the Cat screenwriting method by Blake Snyder, outlining a 15-beat structure, the beat sheet, that maps out the essential turning points. So this is what we're going to be going over as we go along and what we need to fill out, what I need to fill out, not you. You can help if you want to offer suggestions in the comments, by all means, but what I'm going to be doing here as I go along is Act 1, the setup, 0 to 25%. The opening image, a snapshot of the protagonist's world before the story begins, establishing their life, personality, and the story's tone. So this is not, when it says a snapshot of the protagonist's world before the story begins, that's kind of misleading because, oops, here we go. It's all part of the story. Everything in there is part of the story. What happens before the story is whatever you were doing before you opened the book. It's in movies, it would be, it's kind of like the hook, I would say. It's not even that though. It's because in in Star Wars: A New Hope, we don't see the hero right away. We see Princess Leia. We don't see Luke for a little while. We do in Mad Max see Fury Road, see Max right away, and well, then he gets captured. We don't see Neo right away in the Matrix. So this just kind of shows you what's going on. In this story, it will be a shot, I think. I think it makes the most sense because we want to start, this is something I heard from somebody else. I forget which book it was, but it was you want to start the scene as late as possible. So what that means is as late as possible as it makes sense. So another way of saying that is, well, here's an example. It's not another way of saying it. Let's go to Star Wars: A New Hope. Was there stuff happening before we see that opening shot of the Star Destroyer chasing down Princess Leia's ship and the space battle happening? Sure. Yeah, there definitely was. How far back do you go? I don't know. You could go all the way back to Leia being born. You could go further back. You could go her parents being, like, how far back do you want to go? You want to get to the point as soon as possible. So the space battle is interesting. There's something happening that sets the tone right away. They're under attack. Here it is. We're thrust right in the middle of it. So for this, I think it would be something like, my first thought is Thomas's dad not being nice to him, blaming him, being mean. So we immediately, their life personality and the story's tone, this is hardship, and that right there, father being mean to the son, would set the story's tone immediately of dysfunctional family problems, familial issues. Theme stated, a subtle hint at the story's central theme or lesson, often spoken by a secondary character, setting up what the protagonist needs to learn. So I think that, and I was thinking about this last night actually in bed, I'm pretty sure what makes sense to me is when Jor-El is taken to that pleasure barge and introduced to this carnival-esque family, and either the loan shark guy or his boss, not the Epstein style boss, saying something like, this can be your family if you want it to be, or something like that. Something about family. You're going to need a family, and we can be that for you if you want. Without your parents here, you're going to need somebody, and if you want us to be home, we can be. Something like that. All right, setup 1 to 10% introduces the protagonist, key supporting characters, and the world, showing what's at stake in their life, in their before life. So this would be showing Jor-El the difficulty with her parents leaving. She's in debt. Her parents have basically left her with the debt. As the loan shark's not just be like, well, I guess you're gone. So no, you left your daughter here, and she's a capable person, so she can work off your parents' debt. So you owe what your parents. So that can actually tie into her trying to pay them back. And actually, I need to make note of that right now. Let's make a sticky note. Just thought of this right now. I don't know if I'd thought of it before. Jor-El owes money using magic with Thomas's help, and using magic they work to pay it off. On left with parents' debt. So actually, maybe what we do here is problem alone and saddled with parents' debt. There we go. Want answers about parents and to be debt free, and money for debt. Okay. All right, there we go. That's pretty good. Set up, introduce. Okay, before life. Catalyst, a life changing event that disrupts the protagonist's status quo, sparking the story's main conflict. There we go. We're right into the middle of it. This is what. This is what sets things off. This would be in Larry Brooks' story engineering. This would be the inciting incident. So, what happens here? This is not the break into two. We'll talk about that. That's not the first plot point. This is something else. This is a big deal. Um, for this, I'm nearly certain that the catalyst or the inciting incident is Jarellin finding out that she's magical, but in a way that doesn't make sense. She's never heard about this before. Now, admittedly, magic is only 3 odd years into this world. It's new to the world. So, what does anybody know? There could be other things going on out there. Debate. The protagonist hesitates or questions how to respond to the catalyst, showing their flaws or fears before committing to the journey. So this would be maybe Jarellin thinking, well, I could tell the people that I owe the debt to about this, and maybe I could help them out. I don't know. I kind of don't like these people. I don't really want to help them with their gray area sort of crime stuff, sort of not crime stuff, unsure. And then we've got Break Into Two, which is the protagonist makes a choice to enter a new world. It's not necessarily like the Matrix new world, but it's something significant. So in the Matrix, it is Neo taking the red pill. In Mad Max Fury Road, it's Furiosa not going to Gastown, but going off into the desert. In Star Wars, it's Luke saying, yeah, okay, sure, I'll go with you, Obi-Wan, and we'll try and see what we can do to rescue this princess. So we'll leave it there for now, and we will continue to work on this when I come back to it. So let's just put this. This will be, we're going to move this stuff down here. So characters can be up here, and then we'll just keep this down here. Jarellin's left with the debt. This will be, maybe we'll start working on the beat sheet actually down in this area. Ooh. All right. Okay. So hope you learned something there. This is real. I mean, this is more me documenting the process of this book, and if somebody gets something from it and enjoys it, cool. If you don't, well, that's okay. I'm still going to be here doing this. I will see you when I see ya.